Last week I talked about AI. It's like 5 videos ago. If you go on my profile, I wrote about it on Substack where I talked about all of these like people using ChatGPT as their therapist and their friend and how it was a symptom of American loneliness. This week we got 2 new articles about AI. One was in Rolling Stone about people literally entering psychosis because they think that ChatGPT is like their god, or they think that they're God because ChatGPT is telling them that they are. And then this article that went viral, which is about all of the college students who are using ChatGPT to do all of their homework for them. I'm not going to summarize the article. It's really good. It's written by James D. Walsh. You should go read it. My issue is that, again, I'm going to be a little bit meaner than I was when I wrote my Substack post. A lot of my mutuals have made excellent videos about this same article. A lot of people are arguing in comments saying that ChatGPT is just a tool like a calculator. And it's like, well, no, because the calculator isn't thinking for you, right? You need to know how to put in the numbers to get the output. This is doing all of the work for you. There is an epidemic of learned helplessness on this app where I think that there's something along the way has convinced a lot of people that they're like deeply powerless in their own lives, right? Where if I say, oh, you should get a hobby or you should make a friend, every single comment is capitalism is destroying us. I work 17 jobs. I don't have time to do anything. I'm being completely crushed under all of these other things that are existing. And it's like, yes, those things are true. So now putting that like input and output mentality into college, right? You say, I am only going to college to like get a job. And then my question is, if the computer's doing all of your homework for you, what's going to happen when you get to the job? The computer's going to do all your work for you, right? Like we are training the robots to make us extinct in the workplace. And then the real tea. I guess my second question is also, what are you guys doing with all this extra time, right? Like if this is saving you so much time and you're in college, what are you doing with that time? Because the girl in this article, all she did was go on TikTok. She said that she would spend like 12 hours a day on TikTok and her eyes would start hurting. So it's like, okay, well, that time isn't being used productively. And third of all, I think what's most important, and this is me, I'm going to stop being mean. I think I want us to really wake up and think, who does it serve to have a permanent underclass of people who cannot speak, think, read, or write for themselves, right? We have all of the information that we have ever wanted at our fingertips with these phones. And instead of using it to like enrich our lives, people are lonely, people are miserable, people are depressed, people are single, right? And now you guys are saying, I don't want to learn to read or write or do my homework. I don't want to do work. I want this to write my emails for me. I don't want to have a job. And it's like, what is happening? We are already being crushed under capitalism, right? I have my master's in sociology. I understand this at a very deep cellular level. Capitalism is destroying all of us. And what you guys are saying is, I want to be destroyed. You are signing up to be subsumed into the permanent underclass, right? When we talk about class in this country, we understand that there is a class of people who go to very elite institutions and are trained to think like leaders and become leaders and get these corporate jobs where they make $50 million a year. And then there's everyone else, right? What you guys are saying is that the current conditions aren't bad enough. You don't want to read or write or think. You don't even want to learn to read or write or think, right? Whenever there's a TV show or movie that goes viral, you guys, a lot of people in the comments are like, what does this mean? What does this mean? We saw it with Sinners, right? A lot of people completely missed so many points of that movie. And now with ChatGPT, you're also saying, I don't even want to have the foundational building blocks to understand what a simile is, what a metaphor is, how to write a sentence, how to write an essay. I'm on here. I have like a decent amount of followers. I see these comments. A lot of you, I'm very, very scared. And sorry if that came out a little meaner than I wanted it to, but like, again, I'm going to say it again. Think about who is it important to have an entire population that cannot do any of these things for themselves, right? When it comes time to vote, when it comes time to think, when it comes time to mobilize, when it comes time to act, right? Like outside of voting, right? When other stuff is happening, if you cannot put 2 and 2 together, literally, right? Because it's doing your math homework for you, who is this helpful for? You guys don't have much more free time. You're spending all of the time that you're saving where you could be learning to think through an argument, where you could be learning to think about how to write an essay, when you could be learning to like push back. Whenever I argue with people in these comments, I see all of the logical fallacies, so many really important skills that a lot of people just aren't getting. What jobs do you think you're going to be able to get if you don't know how to do anything? And when they put this behind a paywall, because like I said in my last video, millennials understand our 20s were subsidized by Uber and Airbnb and DoorDash, all of this stuff was $6, right? This is going to be put behind a paywall. This is going to be $200 a month, and we're already all struggling. Again, I'm asking you, why are you putting yourself in the position of removing all of your agency? And I know that it's very big right now. It's always somebody else's fault. Nothing is your fault. But like, you need to wake up and think about what you're doing if you're outsourcing all of your responsibility and emotionality and agency to a machine that is doing the thinking for you. Because you're creating a dream scenario for a certain group of people when the entire labor force cannot think think through labor conditions or why it's unfair that they have to work 14 hours a week to like feed their families, right? This is what certain people want, and you are willingly signing up for it because you don't want to learn to write an essay to get like a marketing job. I know that education in this country is super expensive. I know everything that has happened, right? There are a lot of conditions that got us here, to a lot of people believing that college is just a means to an end. But at the end of the day, there is still stuff to learn. There is still stuff to absorb and think through. And obviously, I'm biased because I'm a humanities major, right? I'm a social major. I got my master's in sociology. But like, it is just deeply frustrating how many people are just like giving up all of their agency already. And now they want to give it up even more because they are like training themselves to be cogs in the machine if they're not even able to see when they're being mistreated or like understand what is happening in the world around them.